Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And so this is part 3 of our series on the drawer build. So back at the kitchen, so now I've built the second part of the rack here, and I wasn't going to show you. It's just basically the same as what I did with the drawer. The only difference is I've got a 20 by 60 extrusion here, but these are the same sizes here. So these are 400 millimeters. And then this is what I've got these brackets for. I'm going to put a piece of wood in here, which is going to be able to open and close. And then this is going to be built up. But what I'm going to do now is we're tying these two together. So what I'm doing is I've got a plate. It's got 8 screws in it. And I'm going to put the last screw in here, and I'm using the little T-nuts that can slide into the extrusion from outside. You don't have to, so they kind of just drop in. So I'm just screwing that on. All right, and then what we're going to do is we'll just push these together, and a little tricky with one hand, but basically we're just going to shove that in there. Oops, kind of turn them. There we go. So that's in now, and then basically I'm just going to tighten them up. And we'll tighten them all up with the Allen wrench, and then it'll look like this side, which I've already done. And then that'll hold the two together. And it's just, you buy these flat plates, I'll have links to all of this stuff in the description again. And I'll probably put another plate under here. And then eventually I'm going to tie this together, but I'm going to build this first. I'm going to mount this in the vehicle shortly. I'll show you that once I mount it. All right, so here's where we're at right now. I've got the base completely built. We've got a box that's going to go here. I'll show you that shortly. And I've already made up the doors for the box. This is a front plate that's going to go here. I decided to put that plate on the front instead of leaving it open because I didn't want garbage to get in there and damage the drawer slides. I didn't want to have a problem with the drawer slides later on. So my last little piece I'm going to glue on right here. So this lifts up, and here's the last little piece. I'm just waiting for that to dry. So I'm going to let that dry and then get this on, and then I'm going to get it in the Jeep, and I'm going to mount this first, then finish off the box, which I'll show you shortly. What I'm going to do with that, I'm going to add a drawer. I mean, not a drawer, sorry. I've got the 2 doors. I'm going to put sort of a shelf on the top, and then I'm going to put a shelf on the inside. So that should be quite nice and functional. I should be able to get quite a lot of stuff in there. So I'm quite excited now. It's starting to come together. I know it's been a little bit spotty, and it's kind of difficult to understand what I'm actually doing, but now it's starting to come together. You'll actually be able to see the finished product, and I will put a list in this video of everything that I used for the whole project. So if you wanted to build the exact same drawers, everything that I bought, the wood sizes, all the framing, everything. So I will get that, but I just wanted to say this is kind of getting to the. I just wanted to say it's getting to the end now, and it's coming together nicely. I really do like the extrusion. I think it's a good way to go for this sort of a build. It's very strong and really easy to put together. Okay, so what I've done now, I've you'll see, I've got these, remember these are those decorative strips. I ended up putting them at the bottom of this, and the reason being is I've got that you know, my piece of wood that I've got in the Jeep is just that, is melamine, which I had got for free. That's why I put it in there. I got some of that from a friend. So this is just kind of maybe to stop, just to help with maybe some noise and vibration and stuff. So I'm putting that in. I'm going to mount it with these little L brackets. I picked these up. I'll put a link once again. I'm not using the other ones because they've got a little like tit on them right here, so it'll push this off the ground, and I want it to sit flat on this. So I've got 10 of these. I'm going to mount them. I put one up here, one this side, 3 along here, and I'm going to put two here, and I've got 2 here, as you can see. Okay, so, and then I'll just screw that right to the board, which should be pretty good. So let me show you what I'm doing here. So I'm using the very smallest screw that I have, and then now I did have to get another box of mounting hardware, so I had to get 2 boxes of this in the end. So I'm using the one that slots in. So we've got it like that. We're going to slot it in. Now I'm not putting it all the way at the back, I'm putting it kind of in the middle, and the reason being is my wood only comes to about here. So if I got to adjust it, I'll adjust it later. I'm going to pop it in, and that really shouldn't go anywhere. And we're just going to screw, make sure it's nice and flat. And as you can see, a lot of oil on the hands because of this, and we're going to snug it up. And you know what, I can go down a little bit, the other one's down more. Like I say, if I've got to adjust it when I'm in the vehicle, I'll do that. But I'm just going to screw them with some wood screws, some short wood screws. That way they don't go all the way through that board, because that's a piece of 3/4 inch. And that's it. So next step is to bring it over to the vehicle and mount it. By the way, there's the box that I've, the frame, that's going to sit on top of here, but I'll finish that up and I'll show you what I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that shortly. I'm going to get that all finished up. So all right, next step, get this base into the vehicle. Hopefully it fits in the door without me taking it apart again, because I really don't want to take it apart, but we will see shortly. All right, so here we are, opening it up, and we got the drawer right here. Let's see if we can get her mounted. So hopefully it fits in here, this in here. So let's start with that. Okay. All right. It just fits. Maybe. Yep. All right. We got her in. Perfect. Now, see if we can drop it down. All right. It went down. Now, if it gets in here and fits properly. It fits. It fits just perfect. All right. Let me get the other side. Oh yeah, that's like a glove. That's perfect. But yeah, it's going to work nice once this is open. It's perfect. And this fits perfectly in here. I just got to get my back piece, and so I've got to get this off. And I could slide it forward a hair. Actually, let me see here if I slide it forward a little bit where my chair ends up, because that's really the decider. All right, let's slide it forward and see where we end up. All right, I think that'll work right there. Let me go get the other part and we'll see where we end up. Let's see if this part fits now. And we'll get it far back as possible with this sitting flush. All right, so that's sitting flush, so we can still come back a little bit, probably to there. Let me do the other side. So we're in good shape here. Now let's just see if my seat goes all the way back. I think that's gonna work out good. All right, let's get a couple of screws in to secure it, and like I say, that'll be fine. Put it right up against there, and then I can actually use these hooks too. And then I've got a little shelf that's going to come up here too. It's going to sit on here, and then these doors will open, and yeah, that'll work. I actually got this upside down, by the way, but it doesn't matter, it's the same thing. Perfect. Perfect. I'll throw another screw in on that side. Let me show you the little brackets that I'm using, and I'm just using a couple of like 3/4 inch screws. So these are just these little brackets, like I showed you before, and I'm just using these little screws. I'm going to have probably 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them holding it. 10, maybe I'll probably add a few more, so like 12 or 14 of them I'm going to hold it down with. It's not going to be moving much, so I think we're okay. And then hopefully I can get Shaka to be comfortable in here. I think he'll be all right. So once I put his bed in here, and I can always move passenger seat forward a little bit. He's got a lot of room here to hang out, so I think it's going to be great. All right, so I'm back on the patio, and so what I'm doing right now is I'm putting mounting brackets for a shelf. So I'm going to have a shelf sit here, so it's 8 inches from here to the bottom of this, and that should give me enough room for my Blue Yeti under the shelf and in this bottom piece. But you'll see that once it's all completed. So all I'm doing is just mounting these little brackets, which I'll show you. All right, so I've just got my little screws as normal. Okay. And I'm going to measure 8 inches. Just make a little mark at right on 8 inches. Okay. And And I put it on its side like this because it's easier to install with these little brackets. And we'll put our little piece in, make sure that we're right on the bottom of our mark, and snug it up. And I did 6 of these. That should be plenty for the shelf. I'm not putting a crazy amount of weight on it, but it's just going to be some more storage. You know, probably the section that's going to be above the Blue 80 is probably where I'm going to put devices, you know, drone cameras and stuff to charge while I'm driving. So let me show you what I got for a shelf. So I actually bought a shelf from the supply house, just a wooden shelf. It was actually the cheapest piece of wood. It was cheaper than buying plywood for this because it was actually the right size. So it was a 12-inch shelf and it was 4 feet long, which fits perfectly in here. I had to notch it just a little bit because I'm using 300 millimeter pieces. These pieces here in between are 300 millimeters, and 300 millimeters is just less than 12 inches. Either that or the wood is not quite 12 inches, but I had to notch it a little bit. I'll show you right now. All right. So here's my piece of wood. You can see I notched there in the middle, and I only did the back side because it can protrude into the back, but I can't come into the front because of the doors that I'm putting on the front. This is the front with the orange. And if you see here, you see I've got these brackets here. This is going to be the stop for my door. So, you know, I just used the same brackets. I just put 2 screws in, nothing crazy. And I did 4 of them for the doors. And then I'm going to mount them here with a piano hinge with the same little nuts and screws. I may have to drill the piano hinge out a little bit. So, all right, let's put this shelf in. You can see what it looks like installed. And then I will, once I'm finished and I've got the Blue Eddy in place, because I may have to lift the shelf to get the Blue Eddy in, I will put a screw in the bottom of it, just here, like just a little 1/2-inch screw just to hold the shelf in place. But I don't think the shelf's going to move anyway, not with the little cutouts. So let's see how she fits. It's pretty snug. That's perfect. So I actually could have cut it out a little bit more, but that holds it in place. I don't have to do anything now. It's snug in there. It's not moving. It's a little beauty. So, all right. Now, we've got to get our doors mounted, and I've got a box that's going to go on the top. Let me show you that. The box I'm going to mount with the same little L brackets that I did mount the whole box down with, the one in the back of the vehicle. I'm going to put probably just maybe, you know, 6 of them on here. They're not here yet. I'd had to order a couple more of them, so they'll be here later on today. But I'm just going to mount them on here for now, and then I'll mount the box when it's finished. But there's the box. And I just used the wood that I had left. I didn't go out and buy more wood. So it's not perfect, but it's going to be good enough. There we go. So that's just an added shelf that I can put bedding, whatever in there. And, you know, I could even put some loops on here and do like bungees to hold stuff in place. So that may be really good for bedding, actually. So yeah, that's pretty good, I think. Let's get the doors on. Back in the kitchen again. So I've already put this door on. So this is the how these are going to work. All right. So now this is the second door. I'm going to show you how I'm going to put the hinge on. So what I've done is I've actually drilled some extra holes because the hinge is going to sit like this on here, on this track. So if you look, this is the holes that come with it on the bottom here. I've drilled an extra 4 holes because I needed the holes bigger, but secondly, I need them to offset the holes going into here because otherwise it's not going to fold properly down. Because if I have the 2 nuts, the 2 bolts opposite each other, the heads are going to make it sit like this. So that's what I've done there. All right, so we've got these screws, which actually have a flat end. I found some of these. They didn't come in this kit, but they were for something else, but I'm using these. I used the round headed ones on this side and they worked fine. So I'm going to put 4 of these in. I actually bent this one a little bit, but it'll be all right once I screw it down. All right, so we're going to do that little setup there. Let's see if it's better from this side. All right. Okay, so I'm going to do the 4 of these holes. So just like that. A little fiddly, but once you get used to it, it's not too bad. All right, so I'm going to do the rest of them, and then I'll show you how I screw it onto here. All right, so I know this is my middle because I marked that already. So we got 6 spots. I'm going to just put it right in the middle of that, and I just want it down so that when this closes, it's kind of in the middle of that. So just a bit less than from the top, right? So let me get a screw in, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do, because I'm going to put these tiny little screws in, but I want to put at least 2 longer ones in just as extra insurance. Okay, to get it started, you're good. Let's see how that is. It should be okay right there. Okay, we'll get another one in the other side. Okay. And then I'm going to bang 2 in the middle, and then I want to see if I can use the longer ones, because I think these are going to be a little bit weak. You know, if the door gets a little bit, there's a little bit of, so I'm going to use these cabinet screws. You know, if the door gets a little banged around, then these may be a little better. And they got a pretty flat bottom too, so I think they'll work pretty good. So let me get the bit for those. Choose that bit right there. And see how it closes with that. That's going to be actually pretty good. Yeah, that's fine. So 2 of those in there, and with gold, and that's not going to be a problem at all. That'll be plenty. But I may change the 2 end ones as well, make them the big ones, because why not? It's not going to hurt it. It's only going to be going to help it. Yeah. All right. Beautiful. That is going nowhere now. Beautiful. Perfect. And now these we just drop in the slot there and we're done. And then from there I just got to mount the latch. Slot those in. Okay, there we go. Okay. Alright, we can bring it down a little bit. That's perfect. Right there. Beautiful. One ski. Okay. Put that back in there. And as you can see, it's going to close just nicely right now. Perfect. And that's why I have those pieces at the back as like a backboard. So let's get our latch installed. And unscrew this. Now for this, because it's so thick, we got to flip this around like that. So I'm going to slip it in all the way in. Okay. Put this like so. Okay. That's it, done. Done, done, done. That was my bit. Okay. So now it goes in. And now you see it wiggles. So now you adjust over here. So we're gonna make it nice and snug. And then this, we just tighten up there. And that's it, it's done. And that holds nicely. No wiggles, no nothing. It's a little beauty. And also another thing I've done, which I'm gonna add to everywhere, is I'm putting these in so that I can screw that other top on. So I'm gonna put one here, probably one about here, one here, and then 3 on this side as well. These are the side panels that are gonna cover the side. And those I will install after it's in the vehicle, because the reason I want to install it after it's in the vehicle, I want to leave that open to give me access to tie it together. It's going to be much easier with that side open. And that, I'm actually just going to use some self-tappers. I've just got some Tech screws, 1 inch, and I'll just screw it literally right through here. And that's it. Because it'll be a little easier than trying to fight with the T-nuts for that. We're busy mounting it. It's quite dark, so I'm just going to show you kind of what I did. This is what it looks like. We're going to put side panels on here, okay? And I'm going to just, as I said before, I'm just going to screw them with self-tappers. Maybe put 1 screw up here, 1 here, 1 down here, and 1 down here, because that way, that's the only way I'm going to get in there. I can't get in the back there. Now, what we've done is I've mounted same type of brackets here. I'm going to put 1 here, 1 there, and 1 on that side. And really the 4 of those brackets will hold it in place. I've only got 2 brackets in, it's already tight. So, you know, I think it's going to be pretty nice. And my little flap up works pretty good. So we're in good shape. it's coming along. I'm gonna get everything mounted, and then I'll come back tomorrow when it's daylight and I'll finish it up in the day, because I got to add the shelf on top here and the side panels, and then we are done. One more project out of the way, but I think it came out pretty cool, and I think there's enough room for Shaka to lay down back here. You know, once I get him his bed comfy in there, I think he's going to be real happy. So, and it should be a lot more organized. We won't have that pile of stuff in there like I have had in the past. Hey guys, all right, so it's daytime, so we got this all in. I got this panel screwed on. You can barely see it, but I just used some self-tappers here, and I just took a black Sharpie and colored them in to make them look good. So back's all done. We just got to get the top mounted and we're all done. Here it is, the finished product. I think it came out really nice. Really happy with it. This is the shelf on top that I put on, so it's just basically a box. We've got our 2 sections that open and plenty of room inside there. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it all yet, but I do know that my power station is going to go here. So wait for the video for that install. That's coming soon. We got this little flap here. Got our drawers that open all the way. Once the doors open like this, it opens all the way. We're gonna have plenty of room for Big Boy in here, I think. Yeah, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I do have some pretty cool videos coming up. Some more builds actually. But so I'm going to be, because obviously, if you have a look, I got 0 visibility out of the back window now. So I am going to install a Wolfbox 900 Tri-Pro, which I already have. And I'm not going to be mounting it like most people do on the mirror. I'm actually going to be removing this mirror, and I'm going to mount mine probably down here somewhere. I've got a mount that goes to my Anvil Overland mounting bracket here, and as you can see, I've got some extra things mounted here. I've got a tablet mount, and this is actually for my my drone remote. Camera mount, my walkie-talkie, and phone mount. But yeah, I'll show you all of that stuff once it's all in place and when we go on our next little adventure. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how this turned out in the end. I think it's going to work out really good. Yeah, so I'll catch you guys on the next one. Once again, please like and subscribe. I really would appreciate it. Cheers.